Welcome into the newest episode of the Junior Hockey Pod. This is episode 3. We've made it 3 episodes already, and I have
Didn't get canceled.
Yeah, I've confirmed that we actually have a few listeners at least. So, people are listening to it. I'm glad you're sticking with us.
Hi, Mom. Is that one of them?
Love it. Yeah, shout out. But thanks for sticking with us here for 3 episodes. We're figuring it out. Once again, Sydney Wolf, joined by Drew Steele, Peter Odney. We're here tonight recording. I guess maybe it's not really a Halloween show, but it's close to Halloween. So love that. Don't really have much spooky news though.
It's close enough for a candle.
Pumpkin.
Candle. Apple cider.
Candy.
Yeah, for anyone who's listening audio, we're just showing off all the Halloween stuff around us.
All of the Halloween accoutrement.
Peter's power keeps going out, so that might be a spooky thing if we just get after dark episode, I guess.
My poor wife has she has a treadmill, like a little walking treadmill downstairs, and she's trying to work out her she has a bulging disc in her lower back, so she's trying to work out and keep it loose, and it just keeps sucking all the power out. So it's not me, which is nice, but I do have my candle in case it goes out again.
It might make it a little spooky here for this episode.
He only has the candle lit because he's scared of the dark.
That's actually true. I am not a fan of the dark.
Okay, well, I don't have any Halloween stuff behind me. I do have some. Oh, well, I guess I do have some in the window. I'm not going to grab it. I have gravestones in the window next to me. And I was just watching Haunted Mansion, like the actual original one. But
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it's so good. Classic.
Great movie.
We do have some USHL news to talk about today. But first, thank you to our sponsors. Obviously, the USHL itself. We love the USHL. Obviously, we're going to talk about a lot of USHL news today. Some Minnesotans that are tearing it up, some players of the week, and a bunch of other great stuff. But obviously, we love the USHL and a bunch of its athletes that we're going to talk about today. So they're one of your sponsors for the show today, along with APX Hockey. I'm also going to show off my sweet merch. I always do because it's awesome. Our other sponsor, APX. Make sure to go check out our website, apx-hockey.com, for all of your needs on whether it's training and development and advising, or on our news tab for a bunch of stories written by me, databases. We've got USHL stuff. I'm also starting up some high school features as well this week and next week, so go check it out. But otherwise, we will get into our news today, which are the players of the week. I'm just going to say them, and then if you guys have any news or notes, feel free to chime in. Couple of Minnesotans here, and then one that's not a Minnesotan, but kind of Minnesotan ties. I'm sure our listeners will be very familiar with Carson Pilgrim, forward of the week this week. Love to see it. Keaton Orrey is the defenseman of the week, so another Minnesotan there. And then the goalie of the week is Carl Axelsson, who is not a Minnesotan, but he is a UMG commit, I believe. So, not a Minnesotan, but he can be honorary in that category since he'll be a dog in the future. But I'm sure people are pretty familiar, of course, with Carson Pilgrim because he's been tearing it up lately.
Sounds like that guy's a dog right now if he's getting goalie of the week, too. Doubling down on the dogs there. But, yeah, no, Carson Pilgrim, he's tearing it up. He was I think I remember him most for being kind of like a sidekick to Shagabe. But nice to see him tearing it up now at the junior level. It's always good to see. I always like the northern Minnesota kids succeeding too, just because their chance of not survival, but their percent chance, smaller community coming out of a smaller town. Obviously, Warroad bleeds hockey more than anywhere else, but just any place like that, I kind of like just seeing those kids succeed for sure.
Well, it validates small town northern Minnesota hockey, right? Thankfully I understand why you might think of Carson as a sidekick to Jason just because of that run Warroad went on, and it was always Shagabe from Pilgrim or Pilgrim from Shagabe. But Carson, once Jason graduated, Carson took on the mantle of being the man in Warroad, and he did it with a great deal of grace and a great deal of humility. And it's nice to see him catching a little success at the next level. He'll do his college team proud.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting to see some of these guys' trajectories too. Because I know last year some people were like, "Oh, he had 25 points in 55 USHL games," which obviously isn't too shabby at all, but nothing too eye-popping. And now he's really having a strong start to the year. And I think a lot of times it takes those guys sometimes a year to get used to things, and then they really start to pop off. And this year he's already got 10 points through 13 games, which is leading Tri-City actually right now. So having a really hot start, and he's probably going to have a strong rest of the season. He's actually on a 5-game point streak right now, and he has 6 points through his last 3 games. So Pilgrim's been hot here the last few games. So love to see that. And another guy who's been playing really well is Keaton Orrey, who had the game-winning goal both nights, I believe, for Des Moines against the NTDP, which is kind of crazy because he's a D too. So seeing a defenseman getting the game-winning goal both nights, kind of rare. I feel like you don't see that super often. So love to see it. And he played high school 2 years at Eagan. So also another school you don't see like a ton of guys, honestly, like coming out of there recently and, playing in juniors, or he's a D1 commit too to Miami. So
Yeah, I feel like you see more out of Warroad even than Eagan. What's the population difference there? Like, yeah, no, it's crazy how that works, but yeah, no, good for him.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at.
I love Keaton.
Yeah. Do you have any good stories? Fun stories?
I remember watching him play for the Steel Dogs when he was 8 or 9 years old, and he's always been a little bit of a spitfire, and I think he's slotted in nicely in Des Moines. It's also nice to see a kid, from Eagan, yeah, but he also did his time. He played a full season in the Null with St. Cloud, and now he's with Des Moines. And I think last year, watching him in Des Moines, he was definitely the low man on the defensive totem pole there. He was a younger guy. It was his first year. He only ended up with 6 points in 37 games, but you talk about the little trajectory, it's going up nice and consistently.
I also love that development model too. Like, play high school hockey, go through the NAHL. Now you're in the USHL for your second year. I think that's I know that USA Hockey is kind of fighting for everything they got, but that's like a great example of the development model in USA Hockey, from youth to high school to Null, now to the USHL. So good for him.
Kind of a bruiser in high school too. I was looking up one of his seasons at Eagan just to see if I knew any of the other names, and not any guys that I'm like super familiar with, but one of the years he was there, he led the team in penalty minutes by like double what everyone
like that.
So love that, playing a gritty game for Eagan.
That's my second year Pee Wee type stats there.
60 penalty minutes?
No. I had way more than that, if we're being honest.
A lot of the other guys on this roster, 2 guys have 30 and the rest have like 8. So
yeah,
that's a lot for that team.
Yeah, I bet you combine those and you're about at what I'm at, what I was at my second year Pee Wee. My second year Pee Wee was the year where they took away checking at the Pee Wee level. So I had it my first year, didn't have it my second. I didn't abide by those rules. So trips to the sin bin plentiful for the Steel.
You were a bruiser. You were on the bruiser.
I was bigger than every kid height-wise, too, so that's just double duty there.
I hate to see you come in.
Hate it. Train tracks, you better watch out.
Season that he had 60 penalty minutes, Keaton Orrey was 13th in the state.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even look up. Yeah, how?
Who's first? Let's shout out the biggest bruiser in the league.
Drew, you're gonna know who this is.
I like that.
From Pine City area, Ryder Youngbauer led the state in penalty minutes.
Yeah, I like that. Ryder is we can go a deep dive on Ryder Youngbauer now for really talking.
What year even was that? 22-23?
22-23.
Wow.
Yeah. Ryder, so his dad, Cody, shout out, was my JV coach when I put 5 goals in 2014-15.
Nice. We are getting into
5 goals. Huh?
Random.
3 in my last 2 games. Then I hung him up forever.
Hey, that's more games than I've played. So
yeah. Hey, best part about the 3 goals in the last 2 games of my high school JV career. Didn't have stick wax with me, and I didn't want to buy any because it was the end of the year. It was straight Axe deodorant on the blade. Worked out 3 tucks up at 2 Harbors Ice Arena, and then at Pine City Civic Center against Cambridge Isani. And yeah, what can I say? That's you talking about trajectory. I was going up and up.
That's the way to do it. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
What flavor Axe?
The one that smelled really bad, probably. I mean, they all smelled brutal. But
yeah, whatever smells good to a high schooler, like whatever the most like obnoxious is, really.
Whatever's definitely not good for your skin at all. I was trying that on the blade. White tape, white Axe deodorant, couple tucks, good for you. So anybody you're going through a slump out there, Axe deodorant, I'm telling you, try it out.
This is probably like, what is that smell? And they're like, oh,
yeah, they're like, damn, Drew, you smell good.
You high stick somebody, and they're like, what was that?
They're like, can you high stick me again, please?
That's insane. I love the random tangents we get on the show. Love all the connections there. I don't think I have any other random connections for the goalie of the week, Carl Axelsson. He's from Sweden, so I don't think I have any random connections to him. But he's also a guy who kind of worked his way up through the Null from Austin. Shout out Austin, Minnesota. I have some family there. Played a couple games for Sioux Falls last year, but is playing in Muskegon now this year. So that's pretty cool. And he helped them sweep Waterloo, I believe it was this weekend. So 2 goals against average and a .932 save percentage, I believe, through the weekend. So those are the players of the week. And I thought we'd just take a brief look at the standings and top scorers because we didn't last week, so we haven't for a couple weeks now because we took a week off kind of in between things. And still kind of seeing Brent Solomon and Cooper Simpson kind of like lingering toward the top there. Otherwise, there's a couple other guys kind of just around the top. I don't know if you guys have any comments on anybody in particular or on the standings. Again, we got kind of nothing too crazy different from last time we recorded, but didn't know if you guys had anything you wanted to throw in on either the scorers or the standings at all. Otherwise, I got plenty of stuff I can talk about too.
A couple of fun players to watch up there. Mason Fleece. I think he's the type of kid that you love on your team, but you hate when he's on the other team. We had Dubuque for 2 games this past weekend, and the kid doesn't wear a letter, but I think he was complaining to the refs more than anybody else on the ice, but he also has 15 points. So I think that's what I mean by you kind of like to have a kid like that on your team. He was killing penalties too. I don't think he's like the gritty type of player, but one of those fast, skilled, smaller guys that Dubuque has. Then Alex Pelletier, absolute rockets towards the back of the net. He had a hat trick against the Caps earlier. I promise the Caps aren't bad, and I only see the good things that come against them. But they hasn't been brutal so far for the Caps here. But Pelletier, I think he had a goal streak of like 5 or 6 games earlier this season. So 10 on the year. Good for him. He's got an absolute cannon off the end of his stick. He's probably using Axe deodorant.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I know you mentioned Mason Fleece, and he's been kind of a fun player to watch because I thought the first year he played in the league, he would have had like a little more stats. I was excited when he went to the USHL because I had watched him in the past when he was younger and thought he was really exciting. And then he kind of just played a couple minutes that first year and had 10 points in 49 games, so nothing super crazy. And I've just been kind of waiting to see when he would pop off. And now it seems like this might be that year because he's got 15 points now through 11 games, so he's one of the top scorers right now. So that's really cool because he's kind of one of those prospects I was like, he's got to take off at some point because I remember watching him a long time ago. And then it seems like it's just taken him a little while to kind of get used to things in the USHL. And then he got traded to Dubuque. So maybe just needed a new team too. You never know.
I think play style's big for that too. I think Dubuque likes to have those skilled players and just kind of play their game and hope the other team gets sucked into playing their game. And when you're putting up 13 points in your last 8 games, the other team's kind of doing exactly what you want them to is what it seems like. Dubuque's averaging like 6 goals a game too, so their offense is crazy.
Yeah, and just looking at the standings and stuff too, real quick. Not super different from the last time we recorded, but still a couple of changes because we're early on in the season. So obviously, a few points can really kind of shift you up or down the standings right now because we're still only like 10, 11, 12, 13 games kind of in. So still not too many. Eastern Conference, Muskegon sits at the top. Not surprising since last year. And then Dubuque, Youngstown, Cedar Rapids follow them in the East. And then the bottom half of the East right now is Chicago, Green Bay, Madison, and the NTDP. Everyone's pretty close points-wise right now in the East, though, besides the NTDP's a couple back. But obviously that's not super surprising. And then in the West, it's Sioux Falls at the top, and then Fargo, Des Moines, Tri-City, and then a couple points difference or Fargo, Des Moines, Tri-City, a couple points difference. Sioux City, Lincoln, Omaha, Waterloo. But again, the top and the bottom half are just a couple points difference. So every game still really matters here early on because that can really sink you if you lose out on all of them in one weekend or kind of vice versa. So you can't really take things too crazy impactful yet early on.
The crazy thing to me is Muskegon did all of that until this past weekend. I think they had the one loss. They did it without their best player. Tynan Lawrence just returned to the lineup. That's a top 5 NHL draft pick type player that you add into the lineup. So crazy that they were that good without him. Add a player like that. Not a great time to be in the East. I'm wearing brown, I guess, for Tynan Lawrence back.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They're
The Lumberjacks.
doing really good, which not super surprising because they got some good guys back from that team last year, but they're doing really well, and they got the most points out of both conferences right now with 20. So they're sitting at the top. And then just a couple player mentions, shout outs, some Minnesota guys, and then a couple of other mentions as well. This one's kind of funny. We got a good pregame story about it. I kept saying, I hear people in Minnesota say Jack Stanius, but then I saw the line chart said Stanius, and then Peter texted someone that said Stanius. So, if anyone here knows Jack, tell him to record how he says his name because we're getting mixed results right now. But I think we're just
I
gonna
still
go.
think it's Stanius.
But
I still think
we've
it's
heard
Stanius.
Stanius. Is it just one of those names that everyone just says one way and then it just turns into that? I don't know.
I can get confirmation tomorrow. I'm on a Zoom call with Joel Norman, the media director over there with the Lancers. So
Get him to come in the
I'll
room and be like, say your name, dude.
yeah, I'll at first though I'll kind of chirp that he doesn't respond to my text that I sent pre-show still. Kind of disappointing. I thought we were closer than that, but I guess not. So
He's got
shout out
stuff
Joel.
to do, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's got stuff to do.
They
I
should
got
do
one.
Oh, go ahead. God
dang it! I was telling Tony today we're all going to be on StreamYard tonight.
Oh gosh,
tough to not talk over people when you're on.
We do
StreamYard.
fine.
I think we do okay. I have one more note on Mason Fleece in regards to his statistics not quite matching the eye test. I think it's important to remember that within his age group, he's one of the best players, specifically within his age group. He finished second at USA Hockey Select National 16s with 11 total points. He was ahead of guys like Mason West, who was a first-round NHL draft pick. He was ahead of Cooper Simpson, third-round NHL draft pick. So within his own age group, I think he's still one of the top players. Obviously, he's not – last year he probably learned the hard way a little bit playing with grown-ups, but this year he's taken off, and I think he'll slot in right where he's supposed to.
5'9.5" is the difference of the draft picks, though, right? Like Cooper Simpson, Mason West, a little bit taller, like that. But that's why he's having success in Dubuque, right? Like Dubuque has that model where you can slide in at any size, and I think he's succeeding in that, and hopefully he translates to wherever he's at next too.
How tall is he listed?
5'9" and 1/4 is what he's listed at, according to NHL Central Scouting.
Well, have whoever handles the line chart for Dubuque pump him up a half inch and push him over the 5'10" mark.
It's all
Penn
it takes.
State commit too, so possibly seeing him in the future at Penn State as well. I know that's his college commitment. Otherwise, I was just going to mention, talking about Stanius, however you
You
want to
say it
say
with
it.
so much attitude.
Got to bring the attitude
Stanius.
on this show. He scored his first USHL goal recently within the last 2 weeks. I don't think it was before I recorded the last show, so I thought I would shout that out. On a 5-game point streak right now, and he's got 7 points in 12 games for Omaha, so that's super cool, starting to light it up. Another player, Minnesotan, who's been starting to do well, Dallas, a 5-game point streak. I believe it ended this weekend, but he was kind of on a tear for a little while last weekend as well. So that's kind of cool. A couple Minnesotan guys getting hot recently. There was one trade. It wasn't a Minnesotan, but I thought I would just like mention it real quick. Ethan Drabicki. I believe he was with Muskegon, now headed to Green Bay. Otherwise, I think that was the only trade since the last time we recorded. So nothing super earth-shattering. But yeah, he was with Muskegon, had a goal this year, and then last year had 8 points in 24 games. So now he'll be headed to Green Bay, and I believe he's a Colorado College commit. So
He's a forward, right?
let me double check here. Yep, he's a forward.
Yeah. So that's
from
probably the
Mis-
Tynan Lawrence coming back, and they have to make room for him. So, like, he'll go get more ice time in Green Bay. Green Bay, struggling a bit. Nice to see them still trying to kick early in the season because I know they sit in sixth, but they have a couple of games in hand. Percentage-wise, points are a little bit lower than the Caps. But nice to see him go, and hopefully he gets the ice time he wants. And yeah, hopefully success for everybody, but the Caps end up on top.
Yeah, and I know you just mentioned the Tynan Lawrence thing, returning from injured reserve for Muskegon. One thing with Green Bay as well, I saw on the transaction sheet that they moved Gunnar Convoy to injured reserve. So maybe, I thought some people said maybe it'd only be a couple weeks for him. I think it was an ankle from what I heard, which was at the Summer USA tournament. He played in, I want to say I heard it was an ankle from someone on Twitter. I don't remember, but I know they thought originally maybe it'd just be a month or two, but I saw that he was moved to IR. So hopefully it's nothing too crazy and won't be out too long, but that definitely stings a little bit for Green Bay. And then also a returner from IR that I saw on the transactions list was Colin Frank returns for Dubuque. So a couple guys kind of moving in and out on the transactions sheet. I always like to look at that because it's kind of fun to be like, who is doing this or that, or the penalties and suspensions too. But
Yeah.
nothing too crazy yet that I saw.
The Convoy move, it's retroactive. So whenever he's healthy, he can still come back in. It's not like he has to wait a certain time out. They probably just cleared the roster spot to get Drabicki in. And I'm sure there's going to be a way where if Convoy is healthy, they can maneuver the roster, play someone as an affiliate that's currently on their roster, whatever it takes. I know that there's still teams in the league that have over the 24 number, whether it's kids that are going back to high school that they're just skating with them up until, or even just trying to figure out who's your actual 24. At this point of the year, it's still crazy that that's the case a month and a half in, but I know Cedar Rapids has struggled with injury. We have them this weekend. They have a good chunk of affiliates there as well still. So, but yeah, it's retroactive on Convoy. So whenever he is healthy, he can come. It's not like he's out for a certain amount of time now.
Well, that's good. So hopefully it's not anything worse then. Hopefully, yeah, just kind of doing some roster management. I guess I don't know all the specific roster rules and regulations for the USHL or how similar or different they are to pro and all that stuff. I know they got all the fancy ones for NHL. I don't know if it's all the same or different, or I don't know if you're an expert on those either, Drew.
I have a decent understanding. I help our hockey ops staff out with some things in the off season. So I'm basically their IT. That's nothing like too crazy.
Gotcha.
But I also, my first year, it was a brand new staff that had never been in our league before. So they kind of assigned me with reading the rule book. So I have a pretty good idea with a lot of the stuff. I'll try to be the Schefter with as much breaking news with that stuff as much as possible throughout the year.
Perfect. Well, awesome. So there was only that one trade, nothing too crazy, and no other really crazy transactions that I saw either. Sorry if I'm yawning. Super late, 8:30 time for me. But otherwise, I was gonna give an update on. We talked about, I think it was last week, the fight between Maceo Phillips and Brody Berard, because I had somebody give me an update on the fight because I know we were like, oh, I wonder what happened the next night type thing, and somebody actually sent me information and said, gave me some added context for it. So I thought it'd be a good update for the show. And this person said that he was actually listed as an injured scratch the next day, so they weren't even able to rematch then. So they did not fight in the next game. And then it sounds like was out as well the weekend after that. So have not been able to rematch. So people might still be able to possibly catch some sort of rematch in the future, question mark. I don't know what happened, if it was just like he was also injured or something. And I also haven't double checked that, but I trust it. So thought I would just get an update on that. NTDP calls up a couple of people. I know we talked about on the last show that they had been having some injuries as well, so they were calling up some guys. I always like to shout out the Minnesotans, like Johnny Blado called up to the NTDP for a bit, along with a different guy, non-Minnesotan, but Miami commit Mitchell Mars. So always love to see the Minnesotans getting their call-ups there.
Expect more call-ups from the NTDP in the next coming days. The U17s are going to a tournament in Truro, Nova Scotia, and I would take a wild guess that they will be calling people up in the next couple of days.
Okay, Drew possibly with some inside info there.
Drew.
Well, we can probably just say by the time people listen to this, they may already know.
I know the announcement's coming out on the 31st.
Okay, he can't reveal yet, but by the time you're listening to this,
but I mean, you can connect the dots to U17 tournament. We have 2 U17s on the roster. It's one of the 2.
Awesome. Well, maybe
we're
if it's
talk offline about.
If you're listening to this, you're getting a very good hint there. You heard it here first on the Junior Hockey Pod. You know, we just got
unless you're that family, they probably heard before me even. But yeah.
Well, you heard it here second on the Junior Hockey Pod.
We're number 2. We're the shit.
We're number 2. That's amazing. I was just gonna say too, this doesn't happen too often with guys. Like obviously, we see sometimes, not super rare, guys leaving college to come back to juniors, but it's not super often we see guys flipping from the CHL to the USHL or vice versa, like during the season. Like obviously during the off season it happens, but during the season, kind of rare. And we got news online that we saw a guy from the Q who I am probably going to butcher his name because I do not speak French at all.
That's okay. Drew and I will give it a shot.
Nathan Lecomte. I don't know.
Peter, you're up.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sure.
Lecomte.
Reportedly leaving the Q and joining the USHL, so that could be interesting. I don't know if we'll see any more of those, but I feel like that's pretty rare for during the season. We don't see too much of that.
Yeah, not a ton. Maybe it's kids that get cut, but I'm pretty sure Lecomte, or however you say his name, was doing pretty well. The rumor is I've heard Youngstown. If that's wrong, it's because of Twitter accounts that I follow, not because of me saying it. So I'm not gonna cite my sources, but just because I don't know off the top of my head where I saw that, but I did see Youngstown, and that would make sense. They have resources where a person would want to go there with their whole Black Bear ownership group. They treat their players well over there, so would not be shocked if it's Youngstown at all.
Yeah, and he's a 18-year-old. It looks like mostly a center, but he's already played. This would have been his 3rd year in the Q, so maybe just wants to switch it up. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to say that team name because, again, my French is just horrible.
What team was he on? I'm trying to find it.
Yeah,
I'm going to take – you take French, Peter?
I'm guessing at Chicoutimi.
I only know about 3 words in French. Jambon et fromage crepe. That's ham and cheese for those people out there.
I was gonna say I gotta brush up on my teams in the queue because now that we're getting guys from the CHL committing to college, I gotta learn the teams better. I only know I've talked to a guy from Shawinigan before. Otherwise,
That's
I don't
There
know.
you go.
I
There you
don't know
go.
many other teams. I'm gonna be honest with you. But he had 12 points in 10 games for his team, so definitely a pretty good player.
I think he was the
So
leading scorer before he took off.
interesting. And yeah, that will be definitely a good addition to if it is Youngstown or whoever gets him. And I believe he is a Northeastern commit, so would have been ending up in America likely anyway because he was going to play college hockey, it sounds like, at least on his elite prospects page, it says Northeastern. So assuming that is true, but thought we would mention that. And next week we'll see maybe if he debuts in a game. We shall see.
Yeah, and for those who don't know where Northeastern is, it's Northeastern United States.
Not to be confused with Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern. You'd think that's in Oregon. Nope, Illinois.
Another great bit on the show here. Love it. Any new commitments? I didn't see too many since the last time we recorded. The only one I saw, I believe it was yesterday or the day before from the time we're recording this, is Charlie Vig, who's playing for Omaha right now, committed to Bemidji State. Not a Minnesotan, but originally from North Dakota, from the Bismarck area. His brother Maxon is actually at Bemidji State now, and I believe was one of the 7th-round draft picks this last summer. I believe Montreal, actually, I think if I'm remembering correctly.
He's Cedar Rapids.
Max. Yeah.
He might have been Cedar Rapids. Yeah, Charlie's for Omaha right now. So
Bismarck, North
his brother
Dakota.
was Cedar Rapids. So.
Max played for Cedar Rapids. Charlie's with
year.
Omaha, but Charlie also did a couple of games with the NTDP U18s last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
He played in the Fall Classic with the National Development Program.
Nice.
Their dad went to the University of North Dakota, and Max and Charlie, their little sister, might be the best hockey player in the family. Macy
That's
Vig.
wild.
So keep an ear out for Macy Vig. Vig. She's legit.
I like that. Macy Vig's also a sick name where it sounds like it's one like it sounds like we're talking French again.
Yeah, it sounds like we're talking about a Q player. Macy Vig.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on her stats pages. All that stuff. But yeah, he committed to Bemidji State, so not super surprising, obviously, since his brother's there. But he's got 7 points in 14 games for the Lancers right now, so doing pretty well. That was the only one I really put on here to talk about. Otherwise, any other notes from other leagues? I had a couple, so if any of you had any other stuff to talk about, I thought I'd throw in a couple of these. I saw online some people were making some noise about this of JP Hurlbert, who was one of the good players from the NTDP and a really highly touted prospect recently who left the NTDP to play in the CHL, was recently named to the Team CHL for the CHL/USA Prospects Challenge and will be playing against the NTDP. So that's going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know if there will be any.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that's your hot take. Maybe it just won't be.
I don't think there will be any animosity because JP, I like JP. I like JP as a player. There's a video of JP and I playing rock, paper, scissors. After a game, I beat him. So
now we know I got brought up.
But I mean, JP's from Texas and he's bounced around over the summer. He's played on a few different teams. I just don't know if he put down enough roots with any of the American kids where there's going to be a fisticuffs during the game. And if I'm the CHL, hell yeah, I'm claiming him. He's got 28 points in 14 games.
I think there'll be something. No, maybe there's not bad blood with on JP's side, but if you're the 20 kids on the other side, you don't think there's bad blood there? Like, hey, he's our best player. He just left to go play in Canada.
I think it would depend on how he left the team, and I haven't heard anything untoward about how
fair.
he left the team. So
He
I
also
don't
wasn't
know.
the only
I
one.
think that, no, he wasn't. But I think that the kids these days with Snapchat groups and with all these summer tournaments, like these kids are all like friends. They all hang out. There's the rivalries that maybe when Drew and I were kids, you would develop against players when you played against them all the time. It just doesn't, in my mind, it just doesn't exist anymore because these kids have been playing together for so long on these different teams. So I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. And I understand why the CHL would claim him. It's a flag planting moment for the CHL to put him out there in a CHL jersey. So I can't.
I mean,
blame
they
the
have
CHL
4 or 5 USHL defects that are doing the same thing. Like I think I saw Nikita Klebov, Igor Shilov, and then it wasn't as much of a defect because I think Bottinger didn't play. Like he went straight from NTDP there, but I mean NTDP's in the USHL, so like that's where they play the majority of their games. So flag planting moment. I also think that the USHL would take credit if any of those kids got drafted, like on their team web pages. You know what I mean? So it's, I mean, so in theory, they're helping out those teams in a way by having them boosted up. But yeah, I don't know. I still think even with the kids these days on their Insta face or whatever, I still think that there'll still be a little bad blood just because, like, hey, you should be playing for our team. Like, what are we doing? Like, if he goes to the net hard right at a whistle, I wouldn't be shocked if Hurlbert gets a couple shoves or a stick to the face.
God help the poor son of a gun who tries to fight JP Hurlbert.
Yeah.
Well, and if you don't know JP Hurlbert, you definitely should get to know his name very well because he's tearing it up right now. And he's one of the guys who I know we said don't take, too much into account with the central scouting list that came out a week ago, but he was one of the guys who received an A rating. So he's going to be a top prospect to watch for next summer. So if you don't know his name, you should definitely get to know it because he's a very, very good player.
I also think it's weird that the CHL challenge versus the NTDP, like you're not getting the way the NTDP is built is when they're 16, it's the best players in the US. So you're not in theory getting the best US players, but you're getting the top players from 3 leagues playing against the US. Like last year when the CHL inevitably beat with like Matthew Schaefer and like 14 other first round picks, they're beating a team that at the time of their development isn't the best of the best in the US. It's a little weird to me. I just don't know if that's the right answer. Like, I mean, obviously I have a side in this battle, but I would love to see just like each of the 4 leagues, the 3 major junior leagues in the USHL. And I still think the USHL's team would consist of a lot of NTDP guys, but I would love to see each league's top guys go against each other just because you're talking about kids from when they were 16, the best of the best, against Shilov, I believe, is from overseas. Bottinger's an American. Hurlbert's an American. Like, it's not the best of the best Canadians playing. I still think the best of the best Canadians would stomp on the NTDP on a given night. But I just don't get the NTDP versus the CHL All-Stars.
That's a really good point. I would love to see an event where the 3 CHL teams in the USHL play like a 3-game round robin. And then at the end, the 2 top teams play each other. I would buy tickets to see that.
And especially now with the climate changing where CHL kids can go into college. Like, if I'm the CHL, I'm probably never doing it, if I'm being honest, because, like, why would you even risk the chance that the USHL comes up and beats you? Which, to be honest with you, I think very easily could happen. Why would you do it? Like, this is the easy way out for the CHL. I'm just more surprised that this is, like, the route they took instead of – because they could just go the top Americans and call it, hey, this is the top Americans, this is the CHL roster. It'd still be CHL probably because you're going to get the people from all over, but still.
Well, so hot takes all around, I guess, here on the pod tonight. Hot takes.
Yeah, I'm calling you out, CH. No, I'm just kidding.
Calling them out.
We got
Drew
68.
hates Canada. Drew hates what?
Yeah.
Drew
Wow.
hates
I've been told Pine City's basically Canada my whole
It's
life.
like
Calm
basically
down.
Canada. Well, so that was our little tangent there. Speaking of the CHL, kind of on the same tangent of like guys leaving type thing, I'm kind of curious who the first player will be. There's always a handful every year of guys that are in college and they end up coming back to juniors. It's not very many, but every year there's a handful, and I haven't seen any who are coming back to the USHL yet. But I did see that there's a guy from Michigan Tech, Rylan Gould, who it sounds like is now going back to the Dub. So I'm curious to see, well, also partially because of the CHL, if some of those CHL guys went to school and now they're like, well, maybe school and college hockey, either maybe they're not getting the playing time they thought they were going to get, or maybe being a student athlete is a little tricky. Whatever it may be, if we're going to get a lot of those guys. And also just curious to see when we'll start getting some of those college guys back to the USHL as well, because there's always a handful every year. It's not too many, but there's always like 5 or so, I want to say. So we'll see with that. And then one other shout out here, I saw Landon Cottingham got his first null goal this weekend for Minnesota. So love that. Love to see it.
Which Minnesota team? Is it the Mallards or the Wilderness?
It might be the Mallards. I should check. Or no, is it the Wilderness? Let me double check.
I mean,
I can't just type MN anymore because there's 2 Minnesota teams.
well, there used to be 2. I just don't get, like, every other place calls it by their city.
So
like, why do we have to go by Minnesota? You're the Forest Lake Mallards. Forest Lake Ducks.
Fun fact, he's played for both Minnesota teams in the Null, but currently
so you can say of Minnesota.
He's with the Wilderness this season. Last year he played some games with the Mallards and some games with the Wilderness. So he's just Minnesota through and through, which is just wild. But he's a guy, our listeners would probably know his name from playing for Hill. And he's also an Alaska Fairbanks commit. So he's got actually 4 points now in 13 games for the Wilderness, including his first official null goal. So love that. Thought I would shout that out. Saw that on Twitter. Oh, sorry, I keep yawning. It's so late. The other day. But otherwise, Drew, I know you said you had some good content for the end of the show. So why don't you show us kind of what you got going on for this week?
Yeah, for sure. And if anybody thinks I didn't like the CHL, I bit my tongue on the last CHL spot where I could have jumped in. I chose not to. Let's go to a couple of Facebook comments we have before a couple fun videos to send us off. We're going to first start off with what's worse than being shut out by Omaha. Omaha finally did something. Wow. Miracles do happen. Matthew and Taylor teaming up against the Lancer faithful.
All-star contributor.
Wow.
Do you think that's on his resume? All-star contributor in USHL.
For sure.
Wow, that's wild.
I didn't click into the Taylor 14 replies. I'm sure it got down and dirty. We're trying to keep it a kids show here.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Well, we will advance over to Hasbula making an appearance. I think they should try this in Omaha. Assistant coach, how are you going to keep the team motivated all season? Hasbula is the head coach. Tough break.
These are starting to get really niche, and I love it.
Yeah. Even more niche. Let's go to Dubuque cowbell giveaway. I just wouldn't be true to myself if this didn't make it. Last season, cowbells were banned at Bob Suter's Legacy 20 Arena for the playoffs, and the Dubuque Fighting Saints had a cowbell giveaway the first time the Capitals were in the building, putting up the sign that the Caps had outside and saying, "We will not comply." Patrick with the picture there. Patrick Diller, top contributor, not an all-star. It's because he's a Fighting Saints fan. Because he's a Fighting Saints fan. Big point there. We'll move on to the Austin Bruins. Sid, this one is something you saw. Looks like they took in some college hockey this weekend.
Yeah, I just was scrolling through Instagram, and the Austin Bruins account posted this and some other pictures that it looks like they went up to the U to watch the Gophers Bulldogs game, which super cool. Love that. But it says that their own Xander Lipset got to ride on the Zamboni during intermission. So I don't know if they arranged that pregame or they just like made him go do that, but I love it. And I love that they got a picture of it. That just I thought was super funny because normally it's like a kid. Normally I feel like it's like some like 6, 7, 8-year-old kid riding the Zam. So they got their Null buddy out there, which I thought was great.
Have you guys, like, what's your first memory of riding a Zamboni?
I've not ridden a Zamboni.
Really?
Never in my life.
I would love to be a Zam driver. I would totally do that. If someone has training sessions, I would so do that.
I've driven the Zamboni once. It was just to move it out of the way, so it wasn't anything crazy. The first time I rode the Zamboni was at the deck up in Duluth. It was Brett Hull's jersey retirement day, like in 2005. My mom, a St. Louis native, big Brett Hull fan. Brett Hull gets his jersey retired up in Duluth. I was in the tunnel as the jersey was going to the rafters. Pretty sweet moment there. Yeah, no Zam rides for the other two, though. That's crazy to me, actually.
Nope.
Interesting.
No Zam rides.
I can tell you, if you ever make your way down to Madison, I can make sure you guys get on a Zamboni.
Hold on. Are you serious?
Sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
You're not messing with me. I can ride on the Zamboni.
I would actually take a wild guess that Sid was talking about Zam lessons. I bet I could hook that up at Cap Ice, to be honest with you, if we want to make a video for it, to be honest. That's something we could happen.
Pretty well. I got good attention to detail. I think I could do it. My depth perception is pretty bad, though. So the corners might be an issue.
Well, the corners are rounded off anyway, so they'll put the boards will push you right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sound less confident now, Sydney.
Yeah. Now that it's a reality, she doesn't want a piece of that.
Yeah, now I'm just like, oh my gosh, what if I just ran right into that and I just ruined
What if you somehow ran over
expensive
a child?
machine? Yeah. What if I like ran over somebody? Like, I don't know.
What if you ran over somebody?
Really?
Wow.
What if I just like did something on the ice and then it just ruined the ice and it's like thousands of dollars in repairs?
Actually, we do need. I think for the content, we do need Sid to run over somebody.
I would love that. Road trip.
You'd love to run.
I love Madison. I'd hang out in Madison anytime.
Tyler, I would put a guarantee on the Zam rides. I would put a 99% chance on the Zamboni driving lessons.
Nice. I'm gonna have to put on the calendar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometime.
Absolutely. All right, we got 2 videos for us here. We're gonna first start off with a null video here. I don't know how to mute the sound. There we go. Going on the ice, skate guards on, kind of tough for him there. I don't know if it's playing. It stopped for a second. There we go. We might get copyrighted music there. It's loading. He's basically just slipping, sliding around here. Skate blades on, or the skate covers on. He's ready for warm-ups there. Tough break for our friend. And even worse for him, it's on the broadcast. Like, you can do it and not get the broadcast. Like, maybe only a couple people see. That's on the broadcast, and NATV captured that. Vietnam, we need you back. We need you back. We haven't had a live video for a while. This is all the way back to the showcase. So let's get you back online there.
Yeah, I wanted to mention too, like, if anyone knows who runs that account, like, who runs that account? Is it just like a null group of alums, or like who is running that account? I don't even know.
I think I said it pregame here. I think I just want it to be someone with the last name Vietnam, and it runs in the family. Like,
that's their name, and we're
pass it down generation to generation.
It's not an oil well, but you can have this.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, some people make money. They can sell merch. That's all about they can do. But I got one last one. We're going to end on a positive one. I had the privilege of seeing this gentleman perform at Bob Suter's Legacy 20 Arena on Friday night. a sellout crowd at Cap Ice, which Dubuque fans had problems with. But let's let him take the show away. This guy's getting after it, and this is the type of action we love to see during a dance-off. That gets the crowd going. We'll play it one more time. I took out the other competitor because really it's all about this guy. The hair, dance moves. He's flying around. Looks like he's got the long hair with the bald spot up top. This guy's ready to go. He shed layers while on the ice. This guy doesn't care about the weather. This guy doesn't care about what's for lunch. All this guy cares about is putting on a show for Caps fans everywhere.
I love it when people do that. When people end up doing, because usually it's volunteering for events like this on the ice, and then they don't do it very good. I'm like, well, you volunteered to do it. If you're forced to do it, that's one thing. But people who volunteer to do it and then don't give it their all, I'm like, hey, you wanted to go out there. So
no free ads.
Killing it.
No free ads. This guy got a Texas Roadhouse gift card for doing this.
I mean, he deserves every Texas Roadhouse gift card.
This guy's eating buttered rolls for life with this sort of dance moves.
You guys got that kind of money at Madison?
No. But with those dance moves, I think Texas Roadhouse, he might become the armadillo. That might be the new armadillo. Andy the Armadillo, watch out.
Don't they have dancers at Texas Roadhouse?
I think they do the Cotton Eye Joe, so I don't know. I've never seen any of these moves in the Cotton Eye Joe, but maybe it's interpretive.
Little stomp dances around. I haven't been.
Yeah.
Plot twist. This guy's a manager at Texas Roadhouse.
Last time I had Texas Roadhouse, I think I got food poisoning, so it's been a few years.
This guy eats chicken critters for breakfast. Look at him.
I went to a Texas Roadhouse. I want to say it was in Grand Forks. I think I got food poisoning.
That could have just been Grand Forks.
It's been a while.
That could have been. Did you have an awesome blossom? That might have been the problem. The blooming onion rip off.
I remember not feeling super great shortly after that. But you never know.
I can tell you, this guy is an awesome blossom.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out whoever that is. Awesome blossom.
I can probably get him on the podcast next week. If I'm being honest, that's probably an easy. That's probably an easy ask. I could probably figure that one out.
That's a season ticket holder all over him.
I don't know. The hat went flying, and you don't see it at the beginning here. Let's rewind. Once he gets this last dance move out, the hat's flying down there. So he's shedding layers. And he's out there. He's giving it all for the Middleton faithful. But also, that's the type of energy we need.
Dollar beer night or something too, or was that?
Yeah.
Okay, because that probably makes the crowd a little more turnt if it's dollar beer night.
Oh yeah.
Which some people online also had their complaints.
Apparently did not like dollar beer night.
Yeah. But you know what they did like? Awesome Blossom here dancing with the mullet.
They did. That's very true. Well, I think that's pretty much all of the content we had here for the show. We try to keep it light, try to keep it funny. I love the random tangents we keep going on. It's great. We always end up somewhere very random. And yeah, I don't know if you guys had anything else to add. Thanks again to anyone listening to this for sticking with us. We're getting into a more regular routine here. I know the first few episodes are always kind of a little random sometimes, but thanks for sticking with us. We're figuring it out here. I think it's pretty funny. I hope you do too. But once again, big thanks to our sponsors. We got the USHL, obviously love them, and APX Hockey as well. Shout out USHL and APX for your support of the show. And once again, thanks so much for listening. For myself, Sydney Wolf, for Drew Steele, and for Peter Odney, thanks for listening to the show.
Boom.